Jesse and Bob are two dudes on the job to brighten your day while gabbing away on a pod. Forget your frown, let's see what's going down in Beachtown.
Whoa, Nelly, what is going on? Beachtownians, tip the veal, try the waitress, hey, waka waka. Cold War Reaganomics, airline food sucks, where's the beef? OJ stab people, walk like an Egyptian, Max Headroom, dating is wacky, men like the remote control, women hog the covers, men leave the cap off the toothpaste and the toilet seat up and they don't ask for directions. All those things. Women ask you what you're thinking. Did we cover all of them? This is the Beachtown Comedy Podcast, the mental health podcast that actually cheers you up. I am Bob from a dewy meadow. Jesse, you're already on vacation. What is going on, my man?
And I'm me, and I was trying to get my earpiece to work.
Oh,
hey, Bob. God. Good to see you, buddy.
You too, buddy.
What's a good word? I see you're in a dewy meadow. That looks nice.
I don't know what the good word is, but I guarantee you it starts with 4 letters.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying the dewy meadow today. I've been saying hello to the lizards.
Okay.
The baby lizards on the sidewalk, they're getting bigger, so now they're like adolescent lizards. So like you just say what's up to the lizards, and they don't even look up. They just look at their tiny lizard phones. They don't care. They play their little lizard video games with their headsets, calling each other racial slurs. Just adolescent lizards everywhere.
They're on lizard Tinder.
They sure are.
Limb.
England is a lizard. Oh my goodness! You have a new shirt.
I got a new shirt.
I like your new shirt. I enjoy it. It's festive.
Yeah, well, I've been wearing like all black clothes for my whole life. It's like I don't know if you know the joke from Brian Scalero. He says, I'm on the black t-shirt diet, It's like a very slimming look. But I've been trying to wear more colorful things, and so yeah, I'm really Paisley Parking it tonight,
Oh, geez. And you did that on a day.
Pinky in the brain over here.
Yeah. I love the background too. Do you use that all the time, or I don't know. For our audio listeners, Jesse's in a almost Hawaiian shirt with a tropical print and palm trees. I'm in a dewy meadow in a boring gray shirt.
Yes. Well,
Did you need to know that?
Yeah, it's a very dewy meadow, though. It's beautiful. But yeah, just figured I'd wear some more cheerful clothes.
Do you think that cheers you? I think it does. Does that cheer you up throughout the day? It puts you in a more like every
not
time
so
you
far.
See yourself? No,
not so far. But it's nice if someone says, "Oh, I like your shirt." Then that's kind of a nice thing, if someone was like, "Oh, that's a nice shirt," but if they don't say anything, then you're just like, "Yeah, well."
You just feel like some asshole in a shirt
wearing a weird pink shirt,
Do you know what I bought the other day? I'll just tell you, it goes faster that way. I don't want to waste everyone's time.
No, you don't want to slow things down.
No, absolutely. That's the last thing I would do. But one of the first things I did do, I bought a pair of shoes at Walmart for $5. I bought $5 shoes, and I couldn't be happier.
Wow.
I did. I got them size 12. My size is 11.5, but since my one right toe bone blew up, I need like a size 12 now to get on my foot. But because my hip's been hurting me so badly, LOL, that I can't get my shoes and socks on, especially my right side, without a whole bunch of pain. It's very hard to get my right sock on, especially.
You think the hip pain related to the hernia?
They came at the same time. I don't really know. I think it's maybe it's coincidental, because I think I got the arthritis in my foot and my hip too, and because I saw like a red spot on the hip too, which is similar to one I have on my toe where it juts out. So I'm thinking just everything just went to hell at my right side hernia, my right hip just killing me.
The hip bone's connected to the
hernia bone. Yes.
Well, I don't know, with the deal with the arthritis. I would say this, that I was having some arthritis-y feelings, and I know that's an inflammation thing. And I was thinking it's from eating too many inflammatory foods like flour. So I was telling Anna, I was like, oh, my flour fingers, my thumbs are so full of flour. So lately, she was trying to go gluten-free. And for the same reason, we're kind of feeling a little inflamed. And doing a little better this week. My legs stopped hurting. My fingers are less floury. So I think there is something to be said for cutting out the white bread and the white flours and sugars and inflammatory things like alcohol and stuff like that. So,
Absolutely. Well,
worth giving it a try.
This would be a terrible time to tell you what else is worth giving it a try, because a lot of people don't seem to want to give it a try, but I bet the second they do, they're thrilled. And you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Pepsi Blue. Our good friends over at Pepsi Blue. It's very refreshing. And what you can do right now is go to Pepsi.com /Pepsi Blue. Enter the promo code Beachtown and nothing happens. Okay.
It's the choice of depressed people everywhere. If you're in a rut, if you're feeling the blues, check out Pepsi Blue. And the same empty bottle from every episode.
It is not the same bottle.
Bob refuses to recycle it. So it is our unofficial sponsor for the podcast. Did we even welcome people today? Welcome to the Beachtown podcast.
Hi, everybody.
I should give a disclaimer. This is of course, our podcast that's designed to cheer people up. And it's a mental health podcast, but Bob and I are not mental health professionals. We don't know anything about anything except for Pepsi Blue.
Pepsi Blue.
If you need real medical advice, go to a real medical person and don't drink Pepsi Blue. Or drink it and be all inflamed and have bad hips.
Drink tons of Pepsi Blue because they might be a sponsor someday.
Yeah, maybe. I'm going to wait until they are before I start drinking it.
Oh,
but then I'll retroactively say I drank it the whole time. It was tasty and blue. Is it blue colored or is it blue flavored? I never asked you that.
It's both. You can see the blue and you can taste the blue.
I can't believe this is a product that is still on the market. Like enough people actually purchase this that they keep producing it.
Let's just back the buggy up there just a second there, Professor.
Okay.
So far in the San Diego, California, where we are, I can only find Pepsi Blue specifically at the Walmart off Claremont Mesa Boulevard. I cannot find it any Target. There's a class division between Target and Walmart.
Sounds like it.
Target is like half mask versus Walmart is no mask, and Target is like especially more so in June they had like Pride clothes and Pride merchandise, and Walmart had guns. It's a different breed. Now you will find a variety.
I'm surprised not the Pepsi red, white, and blue at Walmart. Well, it does look like there's a flag on there.
It kind of does, but I think that's a coincidence because of the red. They just happen to be the colors. You will not find at Pepsi Mango. I haven't tried it yet. I bet it's good. Yeah, you will not find any of the really exotic Pepsi flavors, except maybe once in a while wild cherry Pepsi in Target. However, do you know what you will find in Target, as opposed to Pepsi Blue? You will find a miniature Diet Dr. Pepper. That's right.
Look at the size of that thing. Look
at this little.
Why it's a diet, because it's smaller, or is it
smaller? But even though it's smaller, it tastes just like regular Dr. Pepper. And what you want to do if you're listening right now or you're watching on YouTube, you can go to coca-cola.com /Diet Dr. Pepper, enter the promo code Beachtown, and once again, nothing happens. But they have this tiny little thing of 12.
And you bought that tiny bottle just to prove that this is a different bottle than last time that you've been using for the whole podcast.
Jesse, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Do you think you and I have known each other for 43 years?
At least.
Do you think that I keep random bottles around my small living quarters just so I can make the same joke every single week and waste everyone's time?
I'm positive that you do. Gotcha. Well, those are a couple of unofficial sponsors for the podcast, and I guess we should get right into it, Bob. And we're going to do our grapes. I don't have a lot prepared, but we're going to wing it, baby, on the wings of a dove.
We are doomed. Yeah, let's just do the grapes.
We ain't doctors. We ain't saviors. Now enjoy the fruits of your labor. Oh,
so for those that haven't watched or listened to our podcast before, this is a little segment that we call Grapes, where we go into our previous week and go through it sort of day by day and figure out how we did in our mental health. And we apply it to this acronym called GRAPES. G, gentle with self. R, relaxation or rest. A, accomplishment. P, pleasure. E, exercise. And S is for social. So we'll do it in order this week, I think. And And we'll start out with G.R.A.P.E.S. Excuse me, Gentle with Self.
Yes.
How did we do this week? You want me to go first? I have nothing. I am gently. Let's see. I bought a new shirt. Does that count? This is a pink shirt. That's gentle, very gentle. It's soft. You should feel this fabric, Bob. It's like,
well, I think that
gentle with
counts.
self.
And here, let's see if we can make this work here. Let's do a little word magic here.
Yeah,
This shirt is gentle on you because it's so soft.
that's right.
Yeah.
So this shirt is gentle with myself.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I think we've all. And by the way, let me add this. Feel free if you're listening on Podomatic, and we thank you for both our listeners on Podomatic and both our viewers on YouTube as well.
Yeah,
we're doing pretty well on Podomatic. I think we went back to number 13 when we started at 94 2 weeks ago. So we're actually rising up the mental health podcast Podomatic ranks.
Beautiful.
We're up there, so people are listening because we're helping people, and that's all I ever honestly wanted to do.
We want to catch the doctors, the Dr. Oz's, the Dr. Phil's,
the Diet Dr. Peppers,
the Diet Doc Peps,
the octopuses, the stranges, the shoals, the mind benders for your G.I. Joe fans, all the docs.
Yeah,
but here's, I guess this is a paradox, if you will. Here we are doing our grapes. Feel free to do these at home or wherever, if you're in your automotive vehicle and you're driving along with us. For our my own G, my gentle with oneself, I am good at.
You ran out of steam on that sentence.
I think I'm good at going on anyway. Like, I'm pretty good at forcing myself to do stuff. Like
perseverance.
Yes. I have a lot of perseverance,
persistence,
even when I don't want to. And I used to be that way with my exercise, which I know is a different grape. But now I'm kind of stuck a little bit there. But I'm pretty good at. Let me apply to this goddamn job anyway. Let me go to this goddamn job interview anyway.
See, that's good. So yours is persistence, mine is polyester. It's the P's of G. So that's a good one.
It's gluten-free polyester, so don't be mad at home if you're listening.
That's exactly right. No arthritis from this poly. Well, that's good. You got to keep on trucking, as they say. You've been persevering, applying for jobs left and right.
And I'm still working my Uber Eats. I'm driving. Apparently I'm pretty good at giving up because, like, after 2 hours, my hip hurts. My hernia will start to hurt a little bit. So I'll be like upset like after like 2 hours, and I'll be like, I'm done. I'm not really making money doing it. It's just cash. It's not paying rent or quarterly bills. It's just some cash so that when you do go to the grocery store and spend $30, like, well, that's probably what you made today. So is this kind of like, it's not really doing jack shit, but no, it's helping. It's always better than nothing. But
yeah.
But I got job interviews. I had one today. And I have two tomorrow. The one I had today, this is derailing the fuck out of grapes, but I think we'll be okay because we had nothing anyway.
Well, this might be an accomplishment right here.
Yeah, let's save that for accomplishment. I'll tell you all about my job interview accomplishment.
Okay.
What about relaxation R? Do I have anything? How am I doing on R?
Oh, well, I would say that I don't know if we both are erratic sleepers because we tend to stay up too late and then sleep in. But now, the difference between you and I is you exercise very regularly. I just this week went swimming, and I've been walking a lot this week, and I found that it's helped me fall asleep earlier.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it?
I don't sleep very well throughout the night, but I still fall asleep earlier, and then I can wake up a little earlier. So I think this week I actually had an improvement in the R, just in that this is more like how regular human beings function.
Yeah, that's huge. That's awesome. And I always think that's like the number one reason why you should move around, and which why people should always just move around.
Yeah.
Because it's so your body was designed to move around. And
getting some sun too. Like when you go outside and you work out and you're in the sun, it like makes you even more tired at the end of the day.
Yeah, you need the sun and you just need the air. Sometimes I'll forget to take my walk and I'll start and it'll be like sunset-ish. And it'll be like, oh, okay, I'm really missing out on sun. But on the other hand, sun has never historically been my friend.
No,
And but you still get the air, and you've got like the ocean air. You can smell the Pacific Ocean and weed and urine all at the same
that's
time.
true. And in fact, we took a walk to the steps that go down the
Right.
cliff, and that is the ultimate mix, you know.
Yeah.
And when we were walking back up the stairs, she goes, "It smells like pee." I'm like, "At least it's human pee." And she's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "No, actually, it's probably a good mix of
See, I'd feel better
creatures."
if it was animal pee and less human pee.
No, I know, I agree. I mean, yeah, if it was a
Yeah.
dog pee, that would make a lot more
Like,
sense.
we've all seen dog poop on the road, right? On any sidewalk. But like, isn't it 90 times worse if it's human? Because now you're thinking about the incident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the only poop I ever liked seeing was you remember that year when Stephen Kendrick was putting googly eyed. This is a person who had very little to do
Yeah, that's right.
in his social life. He would go around Ocean Beach and put these little googly eyes on dog turds because he thought it was
Yeah.
beautiful. Not, he took the time to do that and take photos of it, but not to pick up and throw away the shit. Like, he never
No.
cleaned up any turds.
And let's make this
put
clear.
Eyeballs on the turds.
Let's make this clear to our listeners and viewers. He was not a dog owner.
No, didn't own a dog.
Right.
But he had ordered thousands of tiny googly eyes online. And since he had no job or anything to do, I guess,
Yeah.
spent a lot of days making turds into what looked like turd emojis. I got a kick out of it, but
yeah, no, it's important to be community minded.
yeah, absolutely. So where are we? R?
What am I doing on R? I'm gonna take a nap after this. Honestly,
That's good.
I'm gonna relax. I need a nap because on my job interview days, like, I always get like 5 hours of sleep, and and there's the thing with 5 hours. That's a magic number where you can actually function through a good half the day. But I always say with 5 my sleep, because I'm pretty good at this, 5 equals 5. If you get 5 hours of sleep, you're pretty much good for 5 hours, and then you're gonna need a nap, like, roughly. And but I think like 7-ish is that magic number, at least for me, where I can get through the day. But yeah, I drove my Uber Eats right after the job interview, which we'll talk about momentarily, for A, which is accomplishment.
Nice. I was always amazed. You talk about you have to sleep 5 hours to sort of function for 5 hours.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I always thought it was amazing. My father would come home from work. He would work all day, and then he would immediately go into the bedroom and he would lay down for like 15 minutes and fall asleep.
Wow.
And we just not to bother him. And then he would wake up after just a 15-minute nap and go downstairs and work out for like an hour. And it just blew my mind that you could wake up from a 15-minute nap and be revitalized. Like, for me, if I lay down for 15 minutes, I sort of wake up in a coma of just like I'm more disoriented than when I fell asleep, like, I need a full hour at least to get a nap. But I always thought it was incredible,
especially
that he
at
could
the end
sleep for a few minutes and then go work out.
They were so much stronger than us. Like, my dad would do this for sleep. Here's the worst relaxation habit you'll ever hear in your life. So he would sleep maybe 3 hours, 4 hours, probably 3 hours on each weeknight. So he'd be up till 2, 3 in the morning with tropical fish, 32 fish tanks, breeding exotic. One of them was 8 feet long. He had arowanas, these 3-foot long fish and everything. These giant, crazy fish. And I think before that was the model trains. He had a model train set. So he always had like a big obsessive hobby and things to collect, if this sounds familiar. Right?
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, he'd always be somewhere in that realm. And he'd be watching NASCAR, but reading a magazine on about the Civil War or Greek history at the same time. And then so he'd have like 2 magazines open, like Civil War history, NASCAR, while like siphoning was sucking with the hose, like water from one tank to another. Have all these things going on. Sleeps from like 3 to 6, right? And then on the weekends, he pretty much sleeps from like Saturday morning to Sunday evening. It's just like,
wow.
Okay, so then for 2 days, it's just, let's just be unconscious.
Wow. You'd really catch up, huh?
Yeah. I don't think it was a great strategy by any stretch of the imagination, but it's something I can never really do. I mean, I found once I started creeping on 40, and I'm 64 now. But
Yeah.
once I started creeping on 40, like even those 5-hour nights, I'm like, that doesn't fly like
Yeah.
it did in my 20s and the first half of my 30s anymore. Like it just doesn't fly. I don't have. Was the generation stronger than us, or did we just learn, or did we just become more wise to it? Who knows?
I don't know.
We have
I
too
don't
much
know,
bloom.
but I guess that brings us to A, really. We've got our relaxation is what it is, but A is accomplishment. I'm sure you have better ones than I do this week. I have very little in the realm of accomplishment. I've picked up a couple more projects for writing ads for podcasts. And
Nice.
other than that, you know, I don't know what to
Well,
say.
I haven't technically accomplished a goddamn thing, but I had an interview today. I had a job interview
great.
with a. Are you guys? And this is too perfect, and really an ultimate punishment for me. If I get the job, I'm lucky to get the job, but it's a bit of irony. Like here is a dangling carrot in front of your face that you can never take. I had an interview with a sperm bank,
Aha!
a sperm donor place.
Terrific. They'd be really wise to hire you.
Yeah,
It'd be just a nonstop cracking wise over at that bank.
basically. And I showed up to the interview on time because better ejaculate than never, I guess. But see, that's the problem.
You don't want to come early to the sperm bank.
No, I don't. Well, the interview was actually not very long, so I did finish early, and that was embarrassing.
Was it hard to hold out until the end of the interview?
Yeah, I almost just left and just said, "Listen, I got to pull out. I'm leaving. I'm out of this whole thing."
I hope I don't seem distracted. I've been thinking about baseball during this whole interview.
And this is the problem.
Yes.
This is the problem right here because I can't. Like, I told the biggest lie I've ever told in a job interview, and I've told some whoppers. Today, I think I told the biggest lie I've ever told in a job interview, and I've had 94 jobs. The question was, will you be comfortable talking to people about sex? And in a blink of an eye, I said, absolutely no problem. I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable like past how are you? I'm not comfortable. I'm completely uncomfortable. Like I barely like telling you that I barely like telling another human, you know, can I get the charbroiled chicken sandwich combo with the fries and the medium beverage? Like if I could write it down and not tell the people at Buffalo Wing Star, then I would do that. So I'm totally uncomfortable, but I lied because you want to say the right thing to get the stupid job, you know.
So you're supposed to talk to people about sex?
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, it won't be a good idea because one of two things will happen. Either they'll tell me never to do it again or they'll tell me I'm fired. So either way, it's happening once.
What would the job be? A receptionist?
Just a fucking receptionist. Just a fucking reception guy. Like, you know.
So you'd answer the phones or actually deal with people like when they walk in?
Both. You greet patients and you do answer the phones as well, but I'm just some fucking jack off.
You'd be the Walmart greeter of the sperm bank, just people walking in like, nice boner, sir.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So there's like, so I had to, I hate to be a job seeker nowadays is a goddamn kick in the testicles because they have the job potential employers are the biggest pieces of shit right now. They always say these things like, oh, and by the way, before the interview, can you just like make yourself familiar with our entire website? Like, can I just do all this free homework when I could be applying to other jobs? You assholes. Because now I know I'm not getting the job because the sperm people are being jerk offs. Yeah, I know what I did, but yeah. So I go through the website, and it's like, oh, here's a video on cryogenic freezing, like the frozen sperm, and here's another thing about choosing the sex of your baby, like, and you know, no one's choosing like redheaded male. Like so I'm sitting in a waiting room and I saw a dude leave with a giant canister, and thank God I'm wearing a mask because I'm just like, there's jizz in that. LOL.
You have to be the last person they should hire for this job.
I can't. And
you can't take this job.
No, well, I will, but if they offer it, I totally will. But I could tell it was the thing where it went good, but not amazing. Like I'm their backup because it went good enough. Because I always say this with stand-up comedians and job interviews. we're very good at job interviews because it's 15, 20 something minutes of, okay, I'll say what you want me to say. I can talk. Let me read your body language and I'll adjust. And
you don't say the wrong thing on purpose. They're like, how did you familiarize yourself with our website? Like, yeah, I've been spanking it all day.
I came twice. It was good. It was like, why is everyone like related by step sister, mother, or whatever the fuck? I fuck it up. But like, did I even go to the right website? What did you send me? Just like, Jesus Christ! Like, why does your website have all these pop-up ads? I don't understand. For the love of Christ! But I'm really annoyed too, and the guy does this maneuver too as well. So this is going to take up most of my grapes today. This fucking is the guy. This is why I hate potential employers and job interviewers. And he was a nice enough guy. And of course, there's 3 of them interviewing you at once, so you're outnumbered. Which I'm there. Listen, folks, you're talking to Bob. I don't care if there's 3 of you. You're outnumbered. Okay? You don't understand what you're getting into. So he says this to me. And the thing is, they're writing down as you're talking. They'll ask you a question and then write down as you answer. Like, is like the rudest fucking thing in the world. So he's like, oh, tell me about yourself, blah, 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 your experience, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, he's doing one of those exactly. For our audio listeners, Jesse's mimicking with a pen and paper. He's doing one of those. And it's very frustrating to talk to someone when they're doing that. And so right after he asked me a question, and again, I've been in this room for 3 minutes. He goes, so what's your passion? Fuck me. Like, fuck you was my passion. Like,
did you say whacking it in San Diego?
I should have said jacking it in San Diego. Here's the thing. How dare you ask a stranger
what's your passion?
Put me on
the spot. I've always wanted to be a receptionist at a sperm bank since I was a little boy.
The question isn't what's my passion, is why is your passion jizz?
Did you answer jizz? Did you just say jizz?
I should have just said
you're
jizz.
Hired. What's your passion? Jizz?
No, I did something
right
stupid.
Answer.
I did something stupid. I took the honesty route, and I never mentioned comedy. That's the thing. I had to dance around it.
You mean you're like G.I. Joes in pro wrestling?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like, do you want to hang out?
What's your passion? And they're like, that's pretty close.
What's your passion? Just I don't know, just rocking out to Maiden. Like, which I would have said. See, I'm sneaky though. If I spotted like something in the back on his desk that said like Megadeth, Motorhead, whatever, I wouldn't have said one of those bands because then it's too obvious. But I would have said a band close that the same fans like. So
Morissette.
I would have done my bit there, and he would have been confused. But But no, I just kind of fudged it. He threw me off on that one. I knew it too. And I'm like, you motherfucker.
That is a crazy question to ask someone in a sperm bank.
What's my passion? You better hope nothing. You better hope absolutely nothing is my passion if you want me to work at the sperm bank.
Right. I'm passionless. That's why I'm here. Like,
yeah,
it's a weird, like what, I wonder what the right answer is for that,
No, it's just, you know what it is? I bet you it's one of those things where some HR fuckface like just buys some template of HR fuckery that 98% of the HR people in the world just ask. And it's just because somebody who's never interviewed anyone and had the same job for 20 years sat down and thought of these questions, and then a bunch of other jerk offs, buy it to ask other jerk offs why they want to be around a bunch of people jerking off. And that's
what's your passion? And you're like, well, it's definitely not jerking off at work.
Like, by the way, can I use your restroom? And if you say yes, you lost.
I am not passionate about that. It seems like such a weird question, and I wonder what kind of answers he's gotten. What did you end up telling him?
I just fudged it, and I said, I tried to be like deep with it, and I said, 2 years ago I could have answered that question without any hesitation. And here's what I did: I circled around to buy my I stand-up comedy the fucking thing. I circled around to buy my weird brain time to think of a good answer. But I circled back and said, 2 years ago you would ask me a question, I would have had the perfect answer. But as time goes on, I had this goal of IT and everything else. And I was doing a financial software thing, and the finance really wasn't working. And the thing is, I've been through 98 job interviews. I know the answer to this question for this job, but I forgot what it was because it's been a few weeks since I went on any stupid things. So eventually,
My passion is helping people, right? Is that what it is?
I think they can see through it, but pretty much it was like, hey, so when I was learning about the electronic medical records, the EMR from those Cerner people that I mentioned earlier, because I'm trying to dig it from another answer I already answered. Like I did, like it hit me that more so than IT and just healthcare IT with the telehealth and the portal. I'm just saying words. And the portals and telehealth.
Synergy.
Like, yeah, synergy, killing two birds with one stone, brainstorming.
Thinking outside of the box. I'm passionate about that.
Outside the box. Watching old guys jerk off, all those things. Then eventually I said something about, I watched these people from Cerner, and then he does a mini interruption. He goes, "Good people," and I went, "Oh yeah, blah, good people." I watched them come from Missouri or Kansas, wherever they were from, all the way to New York, and they were training other employees on EMR, and I thought, man, that would be really great. I'd love someday to be training other employees because there's nurses in the room, and I'm not a dummy. I'm working this shit. So like, nurses are busy. They don't have an extra 2 hours in their day, let alone 2 minutes to do yada, yada, yada. So I like to be the guy to help them to make this appointment, to find the medical records and vital signs. I'm just saying fucking, and then they all nod and fucking nodding heads because they've been lobotomized like the rest of us. I'm just not as familiar with the script every day. And man, humanity's doomed.
So you're saying that you kind of were jerking them off in this
no, I didn't process. No, it's not like I went in there and just gave him the shaft, but at the end of the day, you know what, it makes no vas deference to me.
You tell him you gotta hire me. I'm so handy on the job. Handy job. Whacking in San Diego. Well, that's a pretty good accomplishment, because of all the material that you just generated from this. But I think that's fantastic, Bob.
I think that's why I agreed to do the interview. I know I'm not getting this far. I'm getting this job if the other candidates were terrible. If there's one of them who's half competent or had a passion ready, then I lose. But unless they interview just bozo after bozo after bozo, like if they interviewed 8 bozos and 1.5 put together person, then I lost. But if they interviewed 9 bozos and 1 me, it's like, all right, we got half a bozo. Fuck yeah.
Well, good luck, I guess. I don't know if you really want that job, but
I don't know. If I do get it, we'll throw it at the wall. We'll see what sticks.
There you go. I meant to ask you, what brand of shoes did you get at Walmart earlier? You said you bought Walmart shoes, and I'm just curious of what they look like. Do they? In my mind, they stay there
and talk. Hang on a second.
I'm just going to tell the audience what I think they look like. In my mind, they are nurse shoes, big, giant white shoes with huge soles and Velcro attachments, and they have a fake name like Mikey or Boditas.
These
Fleebox.
Let me just hold them up.
Oh, look at those. I was wrong. They look more like Doc Martin, or what do you call those? So there's like leather brown shoes, almost like wallabies or something.
They're called George.
Oh, they're just called George.
Just George. They were on clearance. So I think the thing was, I guess I can't put it really hurts to with my right sock and right shoe. And these, they have no laces. They're just like loafers. So I can.
Well, I was right. I did predict no laces. I was predicting Velcro, but okay.
But I wore them to the sperm interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, they're clean. Jesus, you don't want to wear sandals. Oh, Jesus Christ. After all the job interviews, you don't want to wear flip-flops.
Remember Naked Gun 33 1/3, the third Naked Gun movie? He's having marital problems with his wife, and he's on a stakeout of like Anna Nicole Smith at a sperm bank, and he has to keep going in like over and over. He's like donated 40 times, and then he has to go home and have a romantic date night.
My ultimate goal. I'm sorry. We'll get off the sperm thing.
Oh,
but if hired, basically my evil plan is by the time I'm 60, I will have a giant army of Bobs.
Nice.
Oh, geez. Okay, we spent a lot of time on that.
So don't put all your
what-
eggs in one basket with that job. But
it's all an exercise in fertility. Whew.
wow. Well, good luck with that. I hope that works
Thank
out.
you. Thank you very much.
I really couldn't think of any accomplishment to match that. The only thing I did this week was go on a lot of we looked at wedding venues again quite a bit, and then on Wednesday morning I had to get up early and do a radio show for the Powell brothers. They have a show called My Funny House, so it's like a real estate show, and they have a comedian come on and try to make stuff funny, and so that was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed that, and look forward to doing that again in studio instead of on Zoom this last time. But
that sounds nice.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. That was my A. And then let's see, we get to P Pleasure.
Pleasure.
I got to record a podcast for Awful Neutral this week, which we haven't done in like a month, it felt like.
Yeah.
So getting to do like voice acting and stuff like that and playing characters and D&D with the crew was so much fun. So I definitely urge people, if you're into comedy and comedians trying to play Dungeons and Dragons badly, check out Awful Neutral. It's so much fun. That was definitely the most fun I had this week. I really didn't have any shows. It seems like COVID is really rearing its head again with the Delta variant. It seems like quite a bit of people that I know have been getting it. And they said there was quite an outbreak at the Madhouse Comedy Club where a number of comics all got it. So I'm a little bit sort of...
Well, I can tell you this. I have not been to the Madhouse on 4th Avenue and 4th Street in San Diego, 92101, not since July 17th. So it's been 2.5, maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I feel fine in my respiratory area, unless the Delta variant hurts your hip and gives you a hernia. I don't believe I have the Delta variant. Even with Uber Eats, I don't come across. Damn it, I'm coming across everybody. I'm still on the Sperm Bank thing.
I still think it's smart though that you're driving, but not really driving people. You're just delivering food. It's a little bit safer.
And 90 times, most of the time, you just leave the food on people's doorstep. That's what they want you to do.
Yeah,
because they don't want to interact with you either.
Right.
So I mean, it's easy. And every restaurant, every food place, the employees are still all masked up. And I am when I go in there, like because I legally don't have to be, but just to not be an asshole, like I just pull it up, and when I deliver, and when I go to the people, and when I go into the restaurant, just so they're like, hey. But I mean, unfortunately, in my car, I'm not wearing the fucking thing in my car.
Right.
What do you want me to say? But it's in a bag, and the food bags are in another insulated, zipped up bag. So we're doing the best we can.
Yeah. Did you have any fun stuff this week? Any shows or any pleasure stuff?
I'll tell you about the shows for social if you want to know about the shows. But a couple of weeks ago, I'm not going on, just so it doesn't look like I'm going on a shopping spree when I'm supposed to be looking for work, but just for pleasure, I got this cool guy. I'll just do some show and tell. A week or two ago, I treated myself to Merman. He's an evil. This is bad lighting for the thing, but he's an evil fish man. God damn it. Okay. Well, you can see. There we go.
Sort of see him there. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's an evil fish man. He's one of Skeletor's minions, and
does he have the standard He-Man pose like he's riding a horse, or is it a little different?
He does. Well, the only He-Man and Skeletor have that pose because you put them on Battle Cat and Panther respectively, and that's how their legs look. With these, they stand up a little straighter, but their legs can go in the same squatting position.
Merman, so he doesn't ride like a manatee or something?
He does not, but he can. And in the cartoon, he can telepathically communicate with sea monsters. And Beastman can telepathically communicate and control land animals. So if they have an amphibious creature, I don't know who controls it, but they should fight for supremacy, which would lead to some heated exchanges amongst the ranks of Skeletor's evil army. But be that as it may, the LOP that you see on, if you're watching a video, is actually stands for Lords of Power, the original name for the Masters of the Universe, but Mattel changed it because they thought it sounded too religious. So they are Lords of Power, or LOP.
Lords of Power.
You can also think that the LOP or LOP stands for the noise that Merman made when he swam around, which is what I like to think.
I like that.
Thank you.
Lords of Power.
That's my pleasure. What's your soch, or do you want me to do mine? I don't know.
Well, geez, we skipped exercise. I don't know.
We did? Oh,
yeah.
fuck.
pleasure you got. Exercise. Mine is just that I've been walking, and I went to YMCA and went swimming again, and ate at the co-op and been cooking. So I think my overall trajectory on exercise and diet has improved, and a lot of it is helped by the fact that Anna's really trying to avoid glutens and some carbs, and so we're trying to eat a little bit better and exercise more. I've been pushing for the exercise, which is good. Like I got her to come with me to take a walk to, go down the cliffs and come back up the stairs and come back, and to walk today. We walked out on the pier and came back, and so it helps. I've heard before, like it helps to have a workout partner that pushes you, so that when you don't feel like doing it, they push it, and then when they don't feel like doing it, you're push. So I do think that helps, is to have both of us trying to push the other person to at least take walks and things like that. So I think exercise actually has improved this week a little bit for me. Some of it, of course, is that we've been walking a lot, exploring these different, wedding venues and seeing which ones we like,
That's awesome. See, that's what I like to hear. See, that's a couple that's good for each other. Each one has taken a good habit, and hey, let's work on this good habit together. Instead of just killing
we've done
each
the
other.
opposite too. I mean, we've definitely enabled each other to be lazy or to overeat, and so it's good that we can also come together and do something positive and like push each other in the right direction too. I think that's just a decision.
I always laugh because I think every restaurant in my area, all of the various Korean and Thai restaurants that I've heard Anna mention when I moved, like when I lived here for like 2 days, I've now picked up from all of them.
Yeah, I bet.
Whether it's the Kun Pad Thai or the Rocky place was today. I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, oh, this is the place, or the or
You're
a bunch
in a
of
great
places,
area for food.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
a bunch of places next to the snow ice place, and they're all just in all these. There's like 8 or 9 different little lots, and we're all there. So I always laugh, and I always think of that. Like I'm going to all those places now, and just bringing people in La Jolla in there. I'm bringing them their noodles.
That's good.
And that's what I'm doing. My exercise today is 2 weeks since I've had like a good workout. I did yoga last Saturday.
Okay.
See, I'm nervous because the thing is I don't want to stress. I got my hernia.
Yeah.
But I've been taking yesterday and the day before. I took like a half an hour walk. I'm not breaking a sound barrier, but just to think more clearly. And again, helps and like it helps me sleep a little bit too. But I'm still used to more. Like it's not like I'm already feeling losing the muscle tone. I'm like not as happy. Like getting a little ornery. My hernia isn't hurting as bad, but today, a few hours ago, I got a letter from Medi-Cal, and I think it says I'm approved. I'm pretty sure. I have to reread it, but Medi-Cal keeps sending you these letters when you apply to Medi-Cal, by the way, that says good news, an exclamation point. And you're like, awesome. And then it says, you are still maybe eligible for Medi-Cal. And they've done this to me every other day for about 2 weeks. They even sent me they send you a card. And once you get the card with the number on it, you're like, well, fuck, I got the card. Look, my insurance card. I have the thing. And then a notice says, good news. Hold on to this card because you may be eligible for health insurance. You motherfuckers.
It's a fake card.
It's essentially. And today they sent me a notice that pretty much says it's a real card, but who the fuck knows anymore?
Well, that could be good news. We'll see.
I don't know anymore. Wait, here's the motherfucker of it. If you want to just talk health, is that before I couldn't get the card because I didn't like earn enough money to get the free health insurance.
Yeah.
However, if I get one of these jobs, like the sperm job or one of these other little interviews I'm going on, then I make too much money for Medi-Cal. So I would have to wait. If I get a new job, I have to now wait 3 months to get the other new jobs insurance. So if I get a new job, I can't go to a doctor. They're trying to kill us.
Yeah.
They're all trying to kill us. And this is why I need to build. And look at my fucking arm is sagging. If you're watching the YouTube, I got a turkey arm. If you're watching us on YouTube, an episode 9, a Beachtown comedy thing right there. This will be on Patreon, by the way. We have a Patreon. There's no. They're trying, and this is why I need to build an army of Bobs because they're trying to take me out, and I'm tired of the bullshit. Bob Squad, you guys are out there. You're listening. You understand. There needs to be replacements lined up because the government is trying to kill me.
Somebody please work on cloning Bob.
Mental health podcast. Cheer you up.
So tell me about your shows. Let's hear about the social. I'm excited to hear some shows, some comedy this week. Although I think I remember they didn't go so great.
Well,
Is that right?
let's stop.
I don't want to jump the gun here.
Let's stop the presses because you just figured out what I was going to do, didn't you?
Okay, sorry.
You know me too well. No, it's funny. Because I was trying to slip one past the goalie and it didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't work at the Sperm Bank either. But okie dokie. So, last
from the
Thursday,
diaphragm. That's what they tell you at the Sperm Bank.
Oh, Jesus, how did the women talk out of those things?
I don't know.
I just cracked myself up. I made myself LOL. It's like the vagina monologues. Like, how does she talk out of that? I don't know.
Ventriloquism. There it is. Gently now.
Last Thursday, the most recent Best of San Diego at the Comedy Store, La Jolla, 916 Pearl Street, 858-454-916. Reservations do not park at Vons.
I did not go.
You did not. And we had a good time just throwing a Delta variant around. No, I got to see our friend and listener of the show and a big fan of the show, our good friend, comedian and buddy, Paul Herman.
Paulie.
I got to see Paul Herman again. And he told me delightful and cheerful and hilarious tales of getting in motorcycle accidents and being in wheelchairs and being sad and having surgeries. So that was nice,
Poor
just
guy.
no, it sucked.
He got really hurt on that motorcycle.
He got fucked up so bad.
Just tell me one thing, please, Bob. Just tell me, please tell me that he doesn't ride a motorcycle anymore.
At the moment, he does not ride a motorcycle.
At the moment. Okay.
He's hinted smatterings of wanting to, and thankfully his wife Amber, who is I should be naming, she's not an entertainer, I shouldn't name people, I don't think she's gonna give a shit, but still, and I think she will rip his head off before he even revs up a motorcycle is the vibe that I am getting. And
there's got to be like,
I hope she does.
motorcycle video games or something he could play instead, or something.
Well, he told me about this wonderful organization he works with. He was writing with the bikers, where this is organization where they help like abused kids. Like sometimes abused kids, like the attorneys on the other side will subpoena the whole family so that the kids testify in court, but their family's not there, so the kids get more scared. It's just like a shitty lawyer tactic. But the bikers are not related, and they become friends with the kid, and they so they they stand in the courtroom in lieu of the family so the kid feels safer while testifying, which is a great, wonderful organization. I'm glad he does that. I hate that he just had to be in a terrible accident and just railroaded and whatever the fuck. I thought he looked good to me. I haven't seen him in 2 years, but he was moving around good. He had a wonderful
surgery
set
and stuff.
He had a wonderful set on the stage with the microphone and the lights and the people, and they're facing one way and you're facing the other way. You've done it before, you know what I'm saying? My other social could not be a bigger goddamn abortion on my face.
Oh, no.
These fucking promoters. These $3 drizzling bags of shit that promote comedy shows.
Oh no!
I'm a stand-up comedian. So I agree to do this thing for this fucking fuck who ends up being in North Carolina instead of San Diego. And right away I know I'm fucked because when he books me for the thing, he got my name from a friend, and he says, "Hey, by the way, do you have a sound system?" And I said no. And then sure enough, the day of, I'm getting texts and then phone calls, plural. Like, oh, we don't have a sound system. This other guy, the headliner, he's coming down from LA. It's just you and him. Oh, and I love, by the way, when any booker says, books you for a spot and then says, oh, could you also host like the day of? Because it totally fucks up. It's a different mindset, or it should be if you care about things going well. It's a totally different mindset. And now there's a responsibility of the show to be on you. And I find out it's just 20 minutes of me cold, and then an hour of a dude who I actually ended up knowing from a few comedy festivals in Knoxville, Tennessee. And cool. He was a really cool guy.
Nice.
But I don't want to name him because I'm about to trash the show. But so this fucking promoter says, by the way, listen, so I rented a PA, but it's at this guitar center in La Mesa, which I agreed to do this show because it was 10 minutes from where I live. So now I got to go a half an hour out and a half an hour back.
Oh no!
And he reimbursed me, but I had to pay. So I had to go rent this fucking gimmick from Guitar Center. And mind you, my hernia hurts. So I don't pick up this big fucking speaker.
Right. And you don't have the money to
I don't have the
deposit on a
money.
thing. Yeah.
So he Venmos me the money, and then I get my deposit back from Guitar Center, and he gives me an extra 25 for that one trip to kind of square it off. I'm like, okay, but then it doesn't even occur to me till like later on. I'm like, wait, who returns this fucking thing? Because he doesn't tell me until the day of, oh, by the way, I'm not even going to be at the show, because I figured, oh, this guy will, and because apparently he couldn't pay for it with his credit card over the phone. The person being there had to pay for it with their credit card. So that's why that whole thing got involved. So I do the show. It has to be adult clean for this apartment complex, and if people are drunk and hammered, and you got to be up there like Dave Coulier in Full House. And
what's adult clean?
It's like adult PG, like basically PG-13ish, like sitcom-ish clean, but you can still kind of say shit sometimes. And I did. I was saying a lot of words in a way. I didn't say fuck. I should have, though. I should have just fucked the whole thing up. But anyway, like so I had to rush to return the thing after the show and yada yada yada. And so this unprofessional fuck. The thing is, if you're wondering why I'm angry and why this is a scam, if you're not if you're listening to this, here's the thing. Because this guy set me up to do this chore the entire week and let me, in my opinion, and let this on me the day of. And I went ahead and did it because the show must go on, I guess, whatever.
I guess he's lucky you said yes.
He is lucky I said yes, because I could have, when he was calling me about no sound system, I was honestly like, oh, he's just calling to cancel the thing. Like, whatever, good riddance. I'll stay home, play with my G.I. Joes, drink a Pepsi Blue, and rock out to Maiden and go fuck yourself. I don't really need to do that. I mean, they could go outside, watch two dogs fucking on the side of the road. I could do whatever I want to
do. Anything.
Well, they don't allow pets here, but in theory. So yeah. So then I had to return the thing, and I got there in time and everything else. The Guitar Center was slow and the service is bad and it's a pain in the ass. So I ended up driving an extra hour that day. And remember, I called you, because you were driving home from a church show, and I was just all mad and like, because the guy was taking forever. Now I need my other $50. And I felt he should have given me a little more for the second trip. But anyway, and I did that next morning. I texted him, and he's like, okay, I hope you had a good time, buddy. And I heard a million times, it's not usually like this. It's not usually like this. And don't worry, it's never going to happen again. I'm like, well, you're goddamn right. And I was, sweet as punch. And then he Venmoed me my $50. And I'm like, okay, good. We don't talk again. I didn't block him. I wasn't good. Rude. I didn't even delete his number because I want to know who it is. But I will never respond to his number ever again, unless I feel like being nice enough to say no, I won't do it.
It's better to keep the doors and things open, right?
No, I don't think so. Just torch the bridges. Death is coming around the corner. The icy-handed Grim Reaper is waiting for all of us on the podcast that actually cheers you up.
You did remind me, though. I did have that one show at a church. So it was a Sunday show outdoors. It was light out. I had to open up cold, do 20 minutes for front row is all children. They were all on their phones. They're like all from between 10 and 14, and then like a whole bunch of their parents. And the way they opened the show was the pastor went up there and was like, yeah, we're going to start the comedy now, and we told them that you wouldn't be distracting, so if you guys can all get off the playground over there, you kids, get down off. No playing now. Jesse Egan. And I go up there and I'm like, I have to follow. I go up there and I said, hey guys, nice to see you. Sorry about the playground. And then I had to do 20 minutes. At one point, all the kids in the front row, they're looking at their phones and say, are you guys looking at trying to find a funnier comedian on there? What are you looking for? And then I'm doing the jokes. I look down again. They're all eating cheeseburgers. Everyone's got a cheeseburger in the front row. I'm just like, you just put that there as a little bear trap for you, boy. And it ended up being pretty fun, even though it was really difficult. And I got off and Dustin thanked me, said, you did a great job warming them up. So I was happy about that. And I mean, I'm only doing 20 minutes. He was doing almost an hour. So when I got off, I felt like, I had to do it. It was ice cold and it was hard, but at least I don't have to do an hour.
It's funny to me how when people hold comedy shows in non-traditional venues, how they don't consider some basic. I understand that the non-comedian isn't going to think about how high the ceiling is or any of that shit that we obsess over. Or I obsess over. I have all the pet peeves, but I understand they're not going to think about that shit, like maybe lighting or the height of the ceiling or any of that shit as much as we will. But it always makes me laugh when they decide like, oh, and the people who we want going like this and laughing, you know, unless you do comedy in Brooklyn, you just want them going like this. Ha, fuck you, I don't miss you. The people who they want making audible noises out of their mouths and having their hands to clap, let's put food in their hands and mouths and give them stuff to drink and do and cut and chew and
Well, and that is funny that you say that, because the show was delayed. It didn't start on time because they're like, oh, there's a long line for the food truck, so let's wait until everybody gets their food and then cannot laugh at all, and then let's start.
He did a 20-minute check spot.
Yeah. So that was okay. At least it was a really long drive, you know.
To be a comedy booker, there's a certain measurement of lack of ability and skill and talent and intelligence and morals that you have to have in order to have this job at any.
I have nothing bad to say about any bookers. So.
That's why you're working a little more than I am.
That's right.
But,
I
don't know, whatever.
I need to get paid.
I'll
perform at the dang YMCA in between the swim classes. I don't give a crap.
You're a very smooth swimmer. So those are our socials. We have gone a bit long on grapes and had a bit of we've gone on some tangents.
Yes, that was the long grapes. But that's fine, because we really don't have that much else today. I don't have a sponsor this week, unfortunately. All of our sponsors dropped us. All of our imaginary sponsors that we don't have dropped us.
But we want to thank.
I didn't think of a new fake commercial to write this week. So
no, but if you are feeling down, you are not alone. And if you have felt the agony of defeat, don't worry about the agony of defeat anymore with $5 George shoes at Walmart. Did you know my uncle is a podiatrist?
Throw on your Georges.
Did you know my uncle's a podiatrist?
No, I didn't know
and
that.
My aunt is a gynecologist.
Yeah. I heard they're always pussyfooting around.
Yes, that's what they. Yes,
I remember that.
You remember that joke? Okay.
Anna the other day went to a cobbler class. It was like a 6-hour thing where they make their own shoes, and at the end of this thing, you have these two leather blocks that you're supposed to strap on your feet, and then we went out somewhere and she wore her leather shoes somewhere, and she's at the end, she's like, my feet are killing me, and I'm like. Well, yeah, it's because you've been wearing those. I call them her Daniel Day-Lewis's, because I don't know if you know, but that actor, he spent 2 years, he quit acting and became a cobbler in Europe somewhere, Hungary or Italy, making shoes. So every time we're leaving the house, I'm like, you gonna throw on your There Will Be Bloods? What are you gonna wear on our walk? You gonna wear your Gangs of New Yorks? What are you gonna wear? Yeah. Throw on your Last of the Mohicans and let's go for the walk. She doesn't like it, but
no, I can't imagine she would like that one bit. But I think it's
she did laugh the first time I said, "You're going to wear your Daniel Day-Lewis's out on our walk." Yeah. She did. Yeah. She liked that.
But then, there's something about I don't understand people who don't laugh the 17th time a joke is made.
I don't either. I don't get it. It's almost like they're annoyed.
Well, they can't go to coca-cola.com/diet Dr. Pepper. They're not allowed. What do you say? Should we just do the movie?
Yeah, let's do the movie. It's time, everybody. We're going to the theater. Not really, but this is at the theater.
Popcorn and previews, movies and reviews at the theater. At the theater.
Okie doke. Jesse, I went different for this one.
Yes, you did. You picked the movie that I've found the most depressing thing I've seen in the last 20 years. So I really appreciate that.
I knew nothing about it. I'd never seen it. I thought it was going to have a very happy ending, and I was incorrect. Usually I do a mid to late 80s or early 90s film. I don't think I've done anything later than 1990.
No.
Edward Scissorhands would be the newest movie I've done. However, with that said, all things considered, I thought, well, let me go a little more modern just once. Probably not just once, because you do run out of movies to watch. And I thought, let me try something different. Let me flip through HBO Max because I bought the goddamn thing just to see Godzilla versus Kong. I'm afraid to unsubscribe because my DVDs don't work and I still want to watch my Batman movies sometimes. And Warner Brothers is a thing with HBO, not important right now. But be that as it may, I decided let's watch something everyone saw and raved about, but I didn't see for whatever reason. And I love Lady Gaga. I think she's just darling. So I thought, why not
Lady
watch
Gaga versus Kong.
Lady Gaga versus Kong. Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper in A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
So
This will really cheer everyone up.
I didn't know. I genuinely thought, well, this will be a happy, fun tale of overcoming uphill battles and blah 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 blah.
And it's a musical, sort of, right?
Nah, not really. It's far less a musical. Like Rocket Man about Elton John is a musical. This just had a bunch of songs in it.
It had songs, right? Okay, right. There's regular dialogue with no.
Yeah, it was just like there's songs in it because it's like, oh, this character plays a song now to these people, and they do. So it's not a musical. There's just a lot of fucking music.
Right. Right.
But okay, to the best of my, I've seen this 48 hours ago. I remember nearly nothing. Are you ready for A Star Is Born?
Not really, but I'll see if I can get through it again.
Okay, well, let's try.
Okay.
Bradley Cooper is some kind of Southern. I think he's from Arizona. They don't really say. And he's about to play a song. And he's like one of those famous like pop country guys on a radio station in San Diego, 103.7, that I played when I drove to Oceanside with Dave Wright. And I think it annoyed him, which is kind of hilarious. Be that as it may, Bradley Cooper's he's drinking and he's popping the pills and he's like a drunk and a drug addict and he plays his song and Sam Elliott, the dude from Big Lebowski, or the bouncer from Roadhouse, just kind of shoves him up on a stage. And Terry Funk, a famous wrestler who has dementia now, is also a bouncer in Roadhouse. Not important right now. So Bradley Cooper is up there and he's playing his song and he's rocking out and you think something bad's gonna happen, but no, he just plays a song and everybody cheers. But now he's in a car, right? And his driver is a really nice guy. His driver's like, hey, what the fuck? Jackson's the guy's name. Hey, Jackson, you're driving around. And Jackson's like, hey, let me find a bar. And his driver's like, and then you find out Jackson, like, you think he's going to be a dirtbag. Because if they made the movie now, only 3 years later, because it's the main male character, to have no good qualities. But this was a long time ago. So in 2018, Jackson, the main character, he just is like, oh, hey, man, how are your kids? How's this? Even though he's drunk, he's still like a decent guy, but he's lost his way. And that's the message. That's how you build a goddamn baby face, but no one knows that. And that's why Kevin Smith ruined He-Man. So Jackson goes into a bar, and it's a drag queens. I don't know, or can you say trans? I don't think you're supposed to say transvestite anymore, but it's a bunch of.
What do they say in the movie? What they
call it a drag bar in the movie.
Okay.
Which I think, so we're going to go with that because that's what they say in the film. I don't know what the right word is, but it is people who were born male dressing up in traditionally feminine clothing and whatnot.
Or the other way around, right? It could be both ways?
Well, not at this particular bar.
Okay.
So at this bar, that's what you got. Okay. And also Lady Gaga, who is her name is Allie, Allly, and she of course is not a drag person of any sort in the film, but they really like her and she's friends with all them and she's a really good singer, so they let her sing. And this one manager dude is gushing all over Jackson. You're Jackson, Maine, you're famous, blah blah blah. And you can see Jackson, he's still a good guy because he's not getting super pissed off. He's just like, he's a little, because he's used to it, and he wants to be nice. He wants to. But he also wants to get really, really drunk.
He's just there to get drunk, yeah.
So Lady Gaga gets up there. She starts singing in French. And I'm like, singing in French? Who won the war? But whatever. So she's up there and she's singing. And that's when Jackson's head turns and he's like, holy fuck, this chick's a really good singer. And all the men dressed up like women are hitting on Jackson, Maine. And he's still being polite. He's not being transphobic or homophobic, but he's being polite, but he still doesn't want to do. But he's really nice about it. He's just like, nah, I'm cool with everyone. I really just want to get drunker is all I really want to do. But it's hard because he's famous. Anyway, he gets introduced to Lady Gaga and she kind of like turns her head. She's like, wait a minute, you're like a famous guy of some sort. And then they become friendly and they hang out all night and they go to a CVS and because he had to buy her peas for her hand because she punched a dude in the face because she wasn't handling the attention that Jackson was. For some reason, guys were gushing over Jackson, and in like 8 seconds, she got impatient and punched a guy. I don't know why, but anyway, she's the good guy. I guess.
I didn't even remember that she punched someone. Okay.
Yeah, she punched the dude right in the face, and he's like, "Do you play the piano?" Yeah, I play the piano. He's like, "Oh, your hand's gonna get sore, and I'm southern and drunk." And he touches her nose. He just touches her nose. He's like, "Can I touch your nose?" And she said she didn't make it as a musician because she has a crooked nose, and like her nose looks totally fine. I don't like. But anyway, he's going like this, and that's like their thing. So every time she smiles, she looks at him and she goes like this, and I don't understand. I thought it'd be funny if she just put her finger like right up her nose, like surely there's a parody somewhere where someone does that, or probably not because everyone's more mature than I am. But anyway, they're hitting it off, and then finally he's like, he sends a driver to her house, and he's like, "Come to Jackson, Maine's fucking big show tonight at the yada yada Coliseum." And she's like, "I can't, I have a shitty job at a restaurant and the boss is a dick." And she says, "Hey, I quit." And then she goes to the show in Jackson, Maine. He brings her up on stage, and she sings a song, and she's like all crying because this is like crazy. And then the audience goes bananas, and then everything's going so fast, and they become a couple, and she gets introduced to like this sleazy manager guy who makes her like a pop star. Like he makes her like an early 90s Mariah Carey type of singer thing, and she's got dancers, but she's a little uncomfortable, but it's fame, and she's been broke her whole life. Oh, and her dad is Andrew Dice Clay. I forgot to mention that. Her dad's Andrew Dice Clay. So she's like always fighting with her dad. Her dad's like, "You should have been a singer." And his gloves don't have fingers, and he's doing nursery rhymes with cursing, and no one knows why he's doing that. And then Jackson, the Maine, gets really mad, gets really drunk, and he wakes up in Dave Chappelle's front yard. I don't know why Dave Chappelle is there either. But they had
a lot of comedians not playing comedic roles.
But they have a movie with Dave Chappelle and Andrew Dice Clay, who are never in the same scene at the same time. But anyway, Dave Chappelle convinces them to get married out of nowhere during breakfast at his house. And then Dave Chappelle goes to like Africa, and no one hears from him for the rest of the movie because he didn't want $50 million or so. I think that's what happened. I forget. And then anyway, so then they get like engaged or married or something, and they're both famous pop stars, but he's getting too drunk, and Lady Gaga gets like a Grammy or something. Oh, but Bradley Cooper's too drunk, and he stumbles on a stage during her speech, and she's like trying to joke it off. "Hey, we had a little too much fun today." And he's like, and he can't, and he urinates in his pants. He pees in his pants, and it goes down. Everyone goes, "Oh," and it ruins her big moment. She's winning a Grammy, and she has to cover like the dress with her pee, the pee with her dress. Damn it. And I was just thinking, I remember saying out loud like that, "Yo, if this were real, that dress would be like 10 grand on eBay just for this incident." Get the pee dress. And then Andrew Dice Clay is mad at Bradley Cooper.
And also, if it was real life, I'm sure they would have some handlers that would have stopped that from occurring. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, totally. They would, but they didn't because it's the movie. And Andrew Dice Clay is like, "You son of a bitch, you embarrassed my daughter, yada, yada, yada. And everybody likes this album I did at Dangerfields where no one was there." And then they throw Bradley Cooper in the shower, and then the couple fights, and he's drunk, and he goes to rehab, and they get a dog sometime. And then finally, she's about to perform at this big concert, and she's like, "Hey, go check on my husband." But the sleazy manager who Bradley Cooper tried to thank for staying with her, the sleazy manager kind of tells, "Hey man, she's gonna be better off without you. We're tired of your bullshit. She says she's gonna end the tour early to come spend a summer with you, but I don't think she should," and yada yada. And instead of kicking the dude's ass, like Bradley Cooper just lets him leave, and she's singing a song, and he takes a belt and he hangs himself in the garage, and then everyone's sad, and then like. I didn't see that coming. Like I thought, because when I saw like the blue and red lights, like hence the police are there pretty much. I thought, oh, they're catching this motherfucker just in time. And like that's really what I thought was happening. Like I honestly thought, oh, they're gonna catch him in time, and she's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" And she's gonna ditch that sleazy manager for being like, "You did what? You got in his head. He's not thinking right because he just got sober," and yada yada yada. And I thought she was gonna punch him in the face too. Then they're gonna all full circle like a movie. You know what I mean? But no, and she never finds out about the manager, and is just sad. And then there's a tribute song thing where she sings a big flowery song, and the credits end, and nobody wins, and Chappelle and Dice Clay never got together, and Chappelle stayed in Africa, and Dice Clay didn't say anything that rhymed. And then Lady Gaga sang a sad song, and I think part of it was French again, I forget. And that was A Star Is Born.
Yeah, it was a real bummer. It was a real bummer. And yeah, I guess thank you for that synopsis. That was very thorough and sad. But can you give me an overall rating of it? How would you review that film after Lop? How would you yeah, do you have an overall response to that one? What do you think?
All of those factors considered, and let me be fair.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be judicious here and not act like an immature ass, considering the content matter at hand. Arguably the greatest film ever made.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty high review.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I thought it was great. I mean, I thought the acting was great. I just
Acting was great.
If you were already in a bad mood, that was not the right movie to watch. But so for all our listeners, now that Bob has watched it for you, you don't need to see that one.
Watch the first 45 minutes. You know how I always say, like, I can never get this joke to work on stage, but whatever. Like when I really hated New York, I'd watch like half a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And just see like Dr. Octopus or whoever the fuck, like, you know, whatever the Loki or whatever, just like obliterate like Times Square or chunks of New York City. And then like, I'm good. I don't need to see, why is a stupid kid from Queens fucking everything up? Like, I don't need to see Spider-Man. No, I'm trying to get the Port Authority, kid. Like,
trying to destroy New York. Well, that's a good segue, though, actually, because if you're feeling bad after watching A Star Is Born, just remember that Bradley Cooper also plays Rocket Raccoon. So immediately go watch the Marvel movie Guardians of the Galaxy, and that should maybe cheer you up a little.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Little movie trivia.
Yeah.
But thank you for that review, Bob. And it's always good to end our mental health cheer you up podcast with a suicide movie. So perhaps next week we'll pick something.
Well, yes. So here's what I decided. Next week, we're going to get back to business, back to basics. We're going to go a little less artsy and a little more scientific with weird science starring Anthony Michael Hall.
Weird science,
and the fun song. And I guess the other guy and whoever played the lady, I don't know what it. So that should be fun. One. I haven't seen it in a very long time. So I have a feeling
it'll be a fun one to also compare to see how it holds up in today's sort of culture, you know, in this movie where they create their fantasy woman. And
I honestly thought you were about to say, we'll see how it holds up to A Star Is Born starring
Yeah, let's see how it holds up.
Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga was such a good actress in this too. She is a delight. I like Alejandro.
She was so great. I was such a big fan of hers as soon as I saw that movie. I'd really never wasn't familiar with her work, her acting, or her singing, or anything really. I'd heard a couple of her big pop songs, but nothing that really blew me away. But when I watched this movie, I was really blown away. I thought she was just fantastic, and what a talent, just an amazing talent, amazing singer and amazing actress all around.
And then there's us. Where can we find
where can people find you, Bob?
Oh, fuck it, they shouldn't, but they can find me. They can find me driving around driving Chipotle to rich people, hopefully for tips, and maybe at a sperm bank near you. But nice. so think of me when you're whacking it. Like if they can meet me and still whack it, I think I should get a raise. Okay.
I think you should put a picture of your face up in all their little bathrooms wherever they have to whack it, so they have to stare right at you going, thumbs up.
So they get Bob Hansen jokes at Twitter and Instagram. You can blah 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 blah. The Sun Bob G.I. Joe episodes are still up. I am working on a new one for all you G.I. Joe people who listen to this. And hopefully before the year is up, I'll do a Masters of the Universe one as well. I would like to do some of that instead of just complaining about Kevin Smith being a lying twat. You cannot find me doing any shows in apartment complexes for shitty promoters for a very long time.
At least a week.
At least a week and a half. But we'll have COVID again anyway by then. But Beachtown, go to Beachtown at Beachtown Comedy Twitter, patreon.com/Beachtown Comedy. We need tears for the people.
Okay.
We need to shed some tears for the people.
I think I had some after watching that Star is Born. Maybe I could
yeah, there
send you
was
some of those.
plenty of those. So I'm going to
Mhm.
think of a way that if you'd like to help out the podcast, you can, and then hopefully through that we can hopefully get some T-shirts going on in the relatively near future. So that is happening right now. So you want to find Beachtown Comedy Twitter and Patreon and YouTube and Podomatic.
Yeah.
Find those things.
Rate us, review us, give us a nice
Give us a
nice
comment.
response. We really appreciate it.
What is ailing you? What is bothering you? Put it in the comments. Or if you want to stay anonymous, you can send
What would
an
you
email.
like us to discuss? What kind of topics would you like us to bring up? Do you want to hear more about Bob's Walmart shoes? Do you want to hear more about my weird pink shirt? Let us know.
Would you like to hear more about my hernia?
Would you like to hear more about Bob's hip? And remember, they don't lie. His hips are very honest. So
no, my hip was like, I am in agony. I am telling you the truth. And if you want to stay anonymous, Beachtown comedy at Gmail. If you really don't want to blah 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 blah. But we keep it pretty light here as it is. Jesse, where can they find you?
You want to find me? It's at Jesse Egan Comedy on all social media. My website is jesseegan.net, and I have a stand-up comedy special. It's clean. You can show it to your grandmother. It's on drybarcomedy.com. And on some platforms like YouTube, they seem to call it What Women Want, even though I told them the title was That's the Spirit. So check it out. And thank you guys so much for supporting Beachtown Podcast. I've been Jesse, and he's been Bob. Thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic week, everybody.